Hey there, brother. Do you have time to talk about Jesus Christ today? Oh, you're dead? Oh, okay. Well, you have yourself a blessed day.
Okay, you too.
You mother.
At first glance, this looks like a run-of-the-mill joke that doesn't have anything to do with a point that I could be making about passport bros or going overseas. But there is something that happens in this particular video that goes unnoticed unless you change your way of thinking. But in order to understand that, we have to revisit the rules of high school. Before the generation of feel-good stories masking the true dynamics of school, we had real school. For our generation, there's no shortage of media depicting the ups and downs of high school life for young adolescents. Movies like The Breakfast Club showed the difficulty of finding individual identity while commingling with different economic and social strata of friends and acquaintances. Movies like Dazed and Confused showed the dichotomy of life for kids that played by the rules and the kids that know which rules to break. But there is no show that showed the difference between the kids that could break the rules and the kids that never dared to break a single rule more than Saved by the Bell. And no kid embodied the persona of a kid that always played by the rules more than Screech.
Actually, you've helped me. You've made me realize that there are a million fish in the sea and I'm just a worm to attract them.
Of course, we all remember the love affair between Screech and Lisa, or should I say the unrequited love from Screech to Lisa, but Screech was a representation of the guy who was geeky. He followed the rules and he did the things that you're supposed to do, what you're told you're supposed to do. And when he tried to date the apple of his eye, Lisa, he wasn't cool enough for her. And of course, the opposite of this were the coolest guys in the school, Zach and Slater. And these guys essentially ran the school. They could bring in outside food, they can come into class late, and they got away with everything because they understood which rules you could break. But what happens when you never graduate from being the cool guy in school and you keep that identity into perpetuity? It looks like this.
Why do you think you struggled so much in school?
I think smarter people sometimes in school are harder to engage because they're like, why am I here? What's the point of this? I don't like this, I don't enjoy this, I'm not passionate about this. And I was sitting there the whole entire time, like thinking to myself, why is this teacher who is a failed whatever they are, teaching me about something that I'm never gonna use in my life? I wanna learn from people who are successful. I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world to sit in a classroom and be taught about the Pythagorean theorem or the quadratic formula.
It's pretty obvious that Jake Paul was one of the cool kids in high school. And because he had monetary success pretty early, basically as the same guy he was in high school, he's had no need to evolve past that guy. But one thing happens for the guys that were the cool kids in high school is that if they have that early monetary success, they really have no need to evolve past who they were in high school because their life as they have lived it is already worked. And so they get essentially encapsulated in a life that was the greatest ever, the best party years ever in those high school 20s years. And their life always reflects back to how cool I was when I was in my 20s. Before we get to who the actual new cool kids are, we have to look at what happens when guys get encapsulated in that I used to be cool guy, and they have to live the rest of their lives looking back on how awesome it used to be.
Have you ever met somebody that you were like, I could marry her?
Yes.
Okay.
I've had out of so many situations, and I'm honest. Man, it's been so many bomb chicks that come in my life.
Like wives.
And I f*** them up.
Wow.
But why?
I met the right person.
The wrong time.
The wrong time.
The wrong time, and I wasn't right.
It's hard to find someone that embodies the alpha male more than Cam Newton, who is soon to celebrate his 8th child being born with his 3rd baby mother. In this space as men, and specifically as black men, we understand having multiple baby mothers is an invitation to difficulty. In Cam Newton's case, while welcoming his 8th child with his 3rd baby mother, he is encountering child support requests and even having difficulty having old gifts like Bentleys returned to him from his continuing to be baby mothers.
I guess the main thing that I don't like is that instead of just promoting her tour,
the title is Baby Mama 3. Like, so we've taken the attention off of you being funny and talented, and you know, you have all these followers because of what you do, but now it's about you being someone's third baby mother.
I'm sure that some people will watch this video and think Cam has a lot of money, he's tall, he's good looking, he's popular, he can have pretty much any woman that he wants. If I could trade places with him, I would. But that's not necessarily the point. The point is, for the next 18 to 20 years, Cam Newton is stuck in a lifestyle where he's dealing with women that think like this.
So would you do what you're doing for a broke dude? What do you call broke? Requires your financial support as well.
No. Like, what does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
You know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And I pretty much read his mind.
Now, in this case, remove the proverbial high school example and replace it with modern day dating in the West. And in this particular case, in the Black community. If this is the kind of thinking that you basically have, a woman who's basically saying, I would rather raise a child alone with 3 other women sharing 8 children with one man instead of having one guy that I'm working with to build a family, that's just the game. That's the high school, proverbially speaking. And if that is the game of the high school, this is where the cool kids come in.
Hey there, brother. Do you have time to talk about Jesus Christ today? Oh, you're dead? Oh, okay. Well, you have yourself a blessed day.
Okay, you too.
What Zach and Slater understood that Screech didn't is that there's some rules that are in black and white, and there are other rules that are in the gray area. And if you're one of the goody two-shoes guys like Screech, you observe all the rules the same way. But if you're a guy like Zach and you want to bring a soda to school, you give the coach a soda before school and say, I'm going to bring a soda for my lunch. I want to drink it. Don't get mad at me. Or you come into class late, and if you're a girl who's really cute, the teacher allows it. But if you're a guy who slacks off, the teacher chews your head off. And these gray rules are the ones where guys who are trying to be the goody two-shoes guys get played. But what happens when the cool kids, and this is what makes a kid cool, understands that those gray rules are to his purview and he can choose to follow those rules or not. And that's what makes the kids cool, when they know the gray rules and they choose not to follow them. Like someone who knocks on your door and says, hey, I want to talk to you about Jesus, and you start making hand signals like you don't understand. Put yourself in Cam Newton's shoes for just a moment and imagine that you're about to welcome your 8th child into the world with your 3rd different baby mother. You're not only worried about 2 decades of provisioning for all of these children, but you have to consider that for another 2 decades, you're going to be dealing with 3 different women who probably are not going to be cooperating with you or each other. You know who would look really cool to a guy like Cam Newton right now? Guys that can do this. The new cool guys are the guys that can go overseas and have lives that are not just photograph worthy, but are much less stressful and ones that people envy. And consider this. This is the real power that Passport Bros have. When you choose to have a woman, and you, maybe even if you bring her back to the States, or you can stay where you are, you have one ace in your pocket. You can look at your woman and say, I love you, I care about you, but if you want to go play this game.
I just got a question for you, man. I just want to pick a bone with you. I'm gonna be straight up about it. Are you with my bitch, man? I feel like you're talking to my girl. She keep texting somebody and it keep popping up as like the Pluto emoji.
We need a picture of her.
To know for sure.
Yeah, because I might don't even know her name, so I got to see the face. You know how these women is these days, you never know. You never know.
Knock yourself out, have a good time. The advantage that the passport bros have is you can go to a woman somewhere in the world who wants to build a family and you want to build a family with her, and you could say, we can build something together that is noteworthy and you can live a life that's better than you had before. And if she wants to leave, you can point to this dating market that everyone is complaining about and say, you know what, knock yourself out, have a good time, but you can't come back. That is the unwritten rule that the cool kids always knew in high school, that I could fudge the rules. I could play with this card if I wanted to. And for guys that have always been lame, but now are the new cool kids, you have that ability. You can meet a woman and say, I know that your life is going to be better because I'm in it. But if you choose to leave me, you have to go back out into that dating market that everyone's complaining about, and you can't come back. That makes the new cool kids pretty darn cool in my book. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.